Hey, Crowd. How's it going?
It's going well. How are you, John?
Good. It's been a while.
It's been a hot minute, huh? How have you
I
been?
got pretty good. Busy startup life.
Yeah.
So, although it pales in comparison to all the stuff you've got going on.
Eh. One or two things.
Yeah. Um, I just out of curiosity, your role as on the TAC, is
Mhm.
that affected by your new job?
So there was no rule that said staff can't serve, but I talked it over with the TAC, and we all agreed that that really should be a community seat, and not unless like I get voted in somehow next year again. But generally, we feel that should be a community seat. So I stepped down. I'm kind of mentoring and helping Zach. So I'm not going away, but
Okay.
Zach is going to be the chair for the next couple months. And we're kicking off the election next week or the week after anyway. So we've never had a position where we needed to have that deadlock vote. Uh, so we should be able to get by for the next couple months with just eight. If there's something extraordinary, we can figure it out. But we'll just start the election and then just prep the new people to get started running on the ground January 1st.
Nice.
Yeah. Yes, yes. I saw in the chats that Yesenia was unable to attend because she's bracing for a Category 5 hurricane. We hope she stays safe and dry. Good. Marcel is here, though.
Yeah, gosh, hello. Hello, new chief architect.
Hello, friend.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that you still have time to join these meetings. Um, I will jump straight to it, and I expect that this will be a shorter meeting. We have one agenda item, and trying to find the notes. All right, let me share those. Whoever copied these in, thank you very much. All right. Let's see here. And we have on our agenda the, oops, I'm looking at the wrong one. The tip of the month um, kickoff, I'll just say. And then as a second agenda item, I can just give a quick update on the, I guess, annual update that we gave to the OpenSSF governing board, I believe, just from a working group standpoint. So yeah, I'll get straight to it. Jasenia and Sally, I'm not sure if anybody else joined that call, but at least the two of them met last Thursday to discuss how we're going to yeah, essentially sort of kick off and format the tip of the month posts, right? So as a reminder, I think most everyone here is aware of the tip of the month post idea. But so as soon as we have sort of a list of tips, we're going to start writing a social media post along with a short blog post to get those out there. Part of the plan is also to, I believe, highlight the community member that gave us the tip. I'm trying to see what else is on here. Okay, it looks like Angela also joined. Um, okay. Sorry, I'm just going through the notes of this marketing meeting with Senya last week. I think I covered everything. The only other part that is related to marketing and this working group, but not tip of the month, I suppose, that they also discussed is posting the office hours on YouTube. So that has started happening, I believe. At least the one from this month has already, or I guess late September, yeah, is already on YouTube. So that was very cool to see and to be able to point to in our update to the governing board. Yeah, any questions on this? Yeah, Crow, I see your hand raised.
We should link that in our Git repo as well. Put a link to the video and kind of periodically update that as we have new content, just to try to
Yeah,
capture as many entry points as possible.
yeah, that's a good point. I also think that we should probably, I don't know if this is something this group can do, or if this is something we can ask the marketing folks to help us with. Hi, Paris. I saw you just joined. Right now, we're talking about getting our office hours on YouTube and in general, our conversations with the marketing team in OpenSSF. And so, yeah, one of the suggestions I was just going to make is, can we work with them to also even just amplify within the Slack channels in OpenSSF, right? Where, there's a new video, we sort of cross post that in our working group channel, but also the general channel, maybe outreach, I'm not sure. There's like a million Slack channels and I'm not sure what they're all good for. So those seem like a good set of channels to sort of cross post though. Yeah. And thank you for taking notes, Krib.
You're
Yeah,
very welcome.
so um yeah, so I guess
I
specific, yeah.
yeah, I'm trying to remember when I went up to YouTube because I think I was trying to do something else and you guys had a YouTube and I was trying to find it. Some of the things would be minor things and maybe it occurs, but maybe hashtag within the body so that I can at least do a search for DNI or something like that. I don't know if we have enough videos to warrant a community channel specifically like that off of that or how to do that. So I don't want to create additional work, but I think at least putting the hashtag in the middle of that would be a quick and dirty win.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea. And looking at the one video, let me see if I can pull it up. It doesn't even say DEI in the title for the video. It just says office hours and then the title of our discussion. Yeah, so
I get
I've got
my
mixed
question
feelings
is
about that.
my, my
Yeah.
my my question would be in general, just as a thing, is I don't want to go up to YouTube and do anything, but do you want me to open up an issue? Do we have an issue like, or a standard document or something where if I go see a past video or anything, and I think we should put something on it that we can at least put it there and then, the powers that be that have the rights to go up to update it can actually go up there and update it if they think it's appropriate. Yeah, I don't know what that process is. So it's just a thought. Because I'm going up to YouTube now just to see what I remember seeing before. Is this helpful or no?
I think in creating an issue or just flagging it in the Slack channel for now, creating issues better. But if you just want to post in the Slack channel, that's okay. In the future, I will be given amazing LFX and YouTube permissions so that I can help do some tagging and adjustments in the future once my account provisioning gets all worked out. So I can help us there very rapidly.
Thank you. Yeah, it is helpful. I even just did a search for OpenSSF office hours on YouTube and stumbled upon a year-old DE&I community office hours video from like June of last year. So yeah, there's work to be done there for sure to bring those all together. I even think something like a playlist within the OpenSSF would be would be a good step in the right direction. Yeah, because I agree. There's other working groups and efforts that also have office hours, so I don't want this to sort of get confused for those. Yeah. So I'm not exactly sure where to open this issue. Is this a tech issue, or is this maybe a D&I working group issue? I know for sure that we don't make very good use of our GitHub repository at the moment to communicate and sort of track
I, I,
these
my, just my
points.
thoughts,
Yeah.
is that it's part of the working groups, thing. I think we should open up an issue there. If you just open up an issue there and then post a link to that issue in Slack so that we have it as a cross type of thing would be a good starting place. And I can go up there and periodically spend a half an hour looking at what I see. And if I see anything, especially for the past ones, I think that would be good if you're okay with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So I will share the working group repo. And yeah, if we start being more active on there, I think we'll also start improving the content that we have there. And like Crow was saying earlier, if we can link, essentially cross-link to these videos in this repo as well, it'll just become, yeah, again, more useful. Yeah, at the moment, it's, I think, just a very dry, long README that even I don't want to read. So if we could make it, yeah, just more accessible and friendly, that'd be great. Okay, so it seems, so I guess,
Just a
Paris, you're
side
going to
question,
take
just
the
a
action
side
item?
question.
Mhm.
Maybe to Christopher more so. Under what channel or what in LinkedIn, I mean in YouTube, would all the videos created by DNI be housed anyway, out of curiosity?
We don't have a content strategy yet,
Okay, I'm
but
just asking what we're
that's
doing today.
something that
I'm
I
not
could
adding
talk
more
with
work for you,
Sally
bud.
and Angela. No, it's Foundation has a intermittent relationship with YouTube. It used to be every meeting was posted there, so we were very active there. But there was a change in the last year and a half ago that they don't do as much. I disagreed with that choice. And now that I have a little more influence on that, I see I'm going to help steer us to be more active on the YouTube channel. I have some ideas of how we can better leverage that to describe the different technical initiatives and provide an outlet for things just like Marcel is talking about, getting those office hours consolidated, probably a playlist. I don't know that we're big enough yet to need channels, but that's an option. And I'll work with the marketing folks to uh, develop a strategy around that because it is important for us to have that better outreach and engagement with everyone.
Right. So I'm just making sure I'm clear. Right now, this is a open SSF working group. So it wouldn't be
Yeah.
under the Linux Foundation, it would be under OpenSSF. And maybe even the Linux Foundation needs to think about how it should branch out the sub-projects so that it's doing a better cross-marketing type of thing to make sure that if I went to the Linux Foundation, I would see what's happening concurrently going on, even if it is in a sub-project. You know what I mean? And this is really for you, Christopher, and I'm sorry I'm adding stuff to your list of things because you just got there as this new role, so I'm not trying to do that either. So thank you for at least listening to me, and I'm just gonna be quiet now. And
Within the OpenSSF, we have a lot of flexibility and I have a lot of influence on shaping that. The larger LF, it's 36 different businesses. I have a little less influence, but again, leverage my friends Angela and Sally, which their job is marketing, and they have contacts up to the mothership, uh, larger marketing and support groups. So I'll leverage those two ladies to help move those ideas upstream.
Marcel, am I saying your correct name correctly, Marcelo?
Yeah, Marcella's right.
I apologize. I didn't mean to take over the conversation. I just thought I'm trying to look for stuff and I couldn't find it quickly, so I just wanted to provide that feedback. So I
No
will yield
worries.
to you now to keep going.
No worries. I am here to steer the conversation rather than control it. So this was really meant to be a community-driven discussion. I saw Prince just joined as well. Hello, Prince. Yeah, so hi. Right, so I guess just to recap this part. So Paris, you'd said that you want to open an issue on the working group GitHub to create some sort of aggregated DE&I, find everything in one place method on YouTube. And I guess Crobe, you said you were going to, I guess we can assign that issue to you perhaps. If you said that you're going to talk to Angela and Sally about this. Just trying to wear my.
Sorry, I have 3 screens, so I was trying to get my mouse back to this screen. Yes, I would go ahead and sign me that issue so I don't forget, and
Okay.
I'm glad to help facilitate that. And I
Yeah,
have an item here in the agenda that maybe we can expand upon that even further.
great. Yeah, thank you. I saw that you had added something. Yeah, maybe as a separate to-do item is for me to figure out different permission groups for our what's it called for our repo, so that folks can actually come in, open issues, triage issues, right? There's all these different permission tiers on GitHub now. And so I think
Just
I probably have
just
admin access. Yeah,
just know anybody can create an issue. Not everybody can necessarily manage the issue,
right.
right?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So yeah, and I agree with you on that thought process you're having. I just want to let you know I didn't create the issue only because I'm like Christopher, I'm trying to figure out what screen is on what. But I'll be happy to once the issue is actually available and created, I'll be happy actually helpful over this week, periodically going up and looking at the different videos and seeing how we can better market them.
Great, thank you. Yeah, so maybe I can even co-assign the issues to you. The reason why I also brought this up is because I noticed on other repos, if you don't at least have, I think, triage access, you can't even assign people to certain issues, which is frustrating. So anyway, yeah, no, I totally agree, Paris. Okay, so that I think is all we had on the marketing discussion. I think we had said we want to have at least a couple tips of the month before the end of the year. I know the last office hours, we have 2 more scheduled for the year, so that needs to come up soon as well. I think we have a topic for that. But I think Jasenia and I and Jay, and anybody else that's available to help here can sort of coordinate that offline. I think it's a matter of just finding the right speakers for that topic, I believe. Okay, so I'll just post a message on Slack soliciting contributors for the upcoming office hours. And then for a tip of the month, yeah, we just need to start tracking that. We did have a spreadsheet for that, Paris.
Because I remember seeing it last time I was attending you guys, and you guys asked me to put one on, but I got so many documents open, I have no idea where to look for it. And what I would advise right now is that maybe we add that link to this notes, or unless it's already there and I just didn't see it yet.
Yeah, it's not there. I just checked too. But yeah, that would be the best, is to add that spreadsheet to the notes. Same with the office hours schedule. That may even be the same spreadsheet. You're on mute.
You're on mute, Paris.
You're on mute, Paris.
I'm looking at, I think it's in a separate document because I'm looking at the office hour questions document, and that's a Word document.
Yes, that's where we're collecting the questions we've been asking our panelists.
Okay.
And so we're recording that. I mean, they need to be cross-linked, but we're recording those separately so that, yeah,
And that's fine. I just,
yeah.
if you can find the documents and share them in this notes document, that'll be helpful to me and other people that join. I'm just scrolling just to see if I see it, and I don't see it. So, because you had tips in there, and you also were asking people if they can ask another type of question for something. Oh, a post on LinkedIn. You were asking about.
Yeah.
There was one section about if you had something useful to post and everything, and that we could sort of put it there and review it before it was posted, I think.
I think you're actually thinking of tip of the month. Tip of the month was supposed to be a LinkedIn post. And then with the marketing committee, they suggested that we also do that we essentially post the same content in an OpenSSF blog post.
No worries.
So I did just find a link to the spreadsheet and posted that in the notes here, or in the chat rather. But yeah, we should pin these to the top of the meeting notes. Okay. Let's see. We're almost halfway through. Crow, do you want to move on if there's nothing else to be discussed about the marketing?
Yeah, no, I had just had a couple points. My friend Jean Robert, he works at Brocade, but is a large participant with the Africa Cert, and they are holding a symposium. I believe it's in October, and he specifically requested. I have a fly in here. He specifically requested see if we could get some speakers from the OpenSSF, and I'm just kind of I posted that in the general Slack channel, and just every community I go to today, I'm going to be posting this. So just if anyone's interested in potentially either attending or maybe presenting at the Africa Cert Symposium, let me know, and I will pass that along with my friend John Romero. And first is it's an industry group. It's the Forum of Incident Response and Security Teams. So it is broadly all of the vendor product security teams. It is also a lot of academics, and then a substantial amount of CSERTs, corporate security incident response teams. So like an information security team. And then the national CERTs, CERT, Computer Emergency Response Teams. So think of CISA is the United States CERT, and there are different organizations like Africa CERT around the world that do coordination and knowledge. And that's what FIRST is dedicated to, those types of groups. So they're a group we've partnered with on a lot of different efforts. So I strongly support them. I'll probably submit something, but I would rather have an engaged, excited member than boring old crow talking.
Yeah, so Ijoma was on and then she had to leave, I guess. I think she'd be a great speaker as well, so I will ping her. And yeah, Prince, I think, does attendance cost anything, and what types of
I
talks
have
can
to
we
look.
expect, I guess? Yeah.
They will do physical and virtual attendance, but I like the VolnCon conference, there is a fee. I don't know about this one. I just got this news this morning and I've been circulating it. I haven't had time to read it.
Oh, okay. Um, Otherwise, maybe there's something we can do scholarship wise, maybe even ask for funds from the TAC
Yeah.
to fund a couple scholarships, something like that.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool. Especially like if I am pretty sure this is gonna be a recurring thing. So the runway for scholarships might be small this year, but if we plan for it next year, absolutely, we can start to think about these types of things, targeting, trying to get new people involved in our community.
Yep.
Excellent. And then the other item, my friend Catherine Druckman, who is a participant here, and she helps lead the DevRel Council. She roped me into her podcast on my last day at Intel. So we had a great open source conversation, and we were kind of trying to promote Sauce Fusion to increase enrollment. And while we were talking, we were kind of brainstorming on the foundation has the What's in the Sauce podcast, and we've mentioned there's a desire for us to get this group somehow involved in that podcast at least once. But then we were trying to think about alternatively, how can we use that platform to further the goals of this group? And I think touching on like the whole underutilized YouTube element, there's a thing called YouTube Shorts, which are kind of TikTok style videos. And that's a potential outlet for us to do like tip of the month. And wouldn't that be cool if we had, the person that submitted the tip of the month pop on, record a quick YouTube short. Again, that helps us bulk up content, gives us that exposure for folks. But then, potentially, do we want to explore other avenues? Do we have enough content where we propose maybe spinning off a secondary podcast focused on kind of the core mission of this group or other groups? And that's, I'm open to try to help facilitate that. I don't know from a budget perspective what our constraints are, but I'm talking with our team. We have a team that does the editing of the podcast today. If we were looking to just do something quick and dirty, Catherine and I can edit and facilitate that. But if we wanted something a little more professional, like the What's in the Sauce podcast, there potentially could be some costs. But if it's valuable, I'm glad to help petition and advocate for that if that's what the group is interested in doing. Again, trying to provide that outlet, that platform for us to share our amazing talent and kind of help further our goals.
Yeah, I think that is maybe trying to think like who would we want to reach with that podcast, right? Like what are sort of the different audiences? Because I know for sure some people really just prefer the audio. Excuse me, some people prefer the video and even the shorts. I almost wonder if something like TikTok wouldn't be a better outlet than YouTube Shorts, only because of the popularity of that platform versus YouTube Shorts. I don't know anyone who uses that. So,
I,
um,
I don't have
I'm
that app
totally honest.
installed, so I won't be able to help you with TikTok.
Oh, I'm also not on TikTok. But yeah, I mean, all of the sort of main ones have that, right? Like Instagram with Reels and yeah. So, um, but I think that's exactly where, when we first started talking about tip of the month, where we wanted to go was something super short and easily consumable. Um, so if we even go the blog post route, I would want it to stay very short. My concern, like with blog posts, is that it feels very long form and it can get a bit lost. So lost among the stream of other posts. So there, I think like Paris was suggesting for the YouTube videos, you would need, it would be great to have some like hashtags or be able to search through the blog, which I don't even think is an option. Yeah, definitely something to talk about. I think a podcast, my personal inclination right now is to say, keep it sort of low key and casual. Personally, I think I find that a little more appealing sometimes when it's not, when it's like a little more, what's the word I want? Like less polished and like more candid, right? So I'd be okay with something less professional, as long as it's sort of a valuable discussion to share. That's my take. I know other people really do like that super crisp, clean editing that results in really good sounding podcasts. So that's my personal take though, is start with a low effort, see if it takes off. If it takes off, we can invest more in creating a polished podcast. So do you have anyone in mind for hosting, or is there maybe a like podcaster we could already work with? I know Catherine already has a lot. And yeah, Prince, we should definitely think about how this community and these the folks here can contribute to the podcast, whether that's coming up with topics or reaching out to speakers. And I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
Or even doing the interviews. Yeah.
And podcasting is what I do. I don't know that I'm your best spokesperson for this group. Again, I fully support this, but I would love to get a better community member, perhaps. But I'm glad to help facilitate and do the legwork to help make this successful. And I agree. I would love to get um, a dedicated, not or a rotating kind of a speaker that represents this community.
Yeah. Um, so when you say that, you mean have someone be like the dedicated host, as they
Well,
say, or yeah,
possibly. Again, we can make it, it's our dream. We can make it as big or as small as we want.
yeah,
But I would, again, I have a lot of outlets and I don't need the exposure. And I would like to try to give the exposure to somebody else and kind of give
mhm,
them that platform so that people that aren't part of our community can kind of hopefully see themselves in this host and the guests that they're presenting.
yeah. I what you just said made me think about having sort of a set of hosts
Yeah.
that cover
Okay.
different topics.
Mhm.
And so if the topic is, say, education, that's, one aspect of, if the topic is, getting started, maybe Prince can host those, right? If you're comfortable doing that. Um, so forth, right? Maybe there's like a marketing or like I'm just throwing things out there.
Yeah.
But I think
And,
that'd
and
be pretty
Catherine and I are
cool.
here as resources for you. We can participate as much or as little as the group wants, but I just want to provide you that platform to
Yeah.
help us.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the suggestion and really like the idea. And I've worked with Catherine on a few podcasts. Um, so I know she's a total pro in this as well. Yeah. Okay, so I'm sort of imagining, I mean, this feels like a 2025 endeavor potentially. But we can definitely start thinking about this um, as well. Um, we should probably create our own MBSR document, um, right? Maybe that's something that me and the other two co-chairs can start working on, and then we'll definitely communicate with you on that as well, Krobe. Um, Actually, what is exactly your sort of purview as chief architect in OpenSSF? I never sort of exactly understood what Dana's role are, so I should have asked her, but now you're here, so yeah.
Uh, well, predominantly it is other duties to be determined. So I serve at the pleasure of the community. I'm here to remove blockers and help make connections across the foundation. I have some specific tasks that I am assigned, kind of like figuring out a a way to better articulate what the foundation is, how all our projects connect together. So like a reference architecture. I'm going to be helping out with global public policy matters. The biggest project right now I'm working on is the security baseline, which is getting a lot of attention across the LF. And like in the EU, they were super excited that we have started this uh, list of good requirements for open source projects. So that'll be a lot of the stuff. But broadly, I'm here. I'm also helping articulate the mission, vision, values, strategy, and roadmap for the foundation. As Marsala knows, where I'm helping the TAC articulate kind of what we would like our strategy to be for 2025, and then presenting that to the board. But broadly, as technical initiatives need assistance and they have blockers, it's my job to help facilitate them and help them deliver on their missions.
Okay, cool. So really you're almost like a point of contact between TIs and staff.
Yes.
Whereas the TAC is a little more sort of broad vision governance related. Okay, cool. That's really awesome. Yeah, so why was I bringing this up? Right.
About your MVSR?
With the MVSR, that's right, thank you. So maybe that's something that we could discuss with you. I mean, since me and Jay are already on the TAC, we have our TAC sponsors leading this group. So yeah, it's definitely also something that I think your input would be very valuable for.
I would love that. And then also, I'll be helping facilitate a monthly working group leads meeting. So ideally, our
Ooh,
technical
okay.
initiatives will start collaborating together. So, for
Yeah.
example, if we were looking for like best practices group had some backlog items they wanted to get involved, more involved with the scorecard. So that working group leads meeting will help start to showcase where there are these touch points and where there's opportunities for the groups to collaborate and help each other.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. That's very much needed. So I think that sort of leads me very well into one of the updates that I gave for the governing board, sort of our annual working group update for that. That was put together 2 weeks ago. One of the things that we've been talking about a lot in this working group, but we haven't sort of, should I say, like coalesced around a specific, I want to say almost deliverable, although I don't like that very formal term. But I think maybe an initiative that would be great for this group to take on is developing sort of inclusive, beginner-friendly or newcomer-friendly contributing guidelines, and working with the other working groups and especially the software projects to integrate those into their existing contributing guidelines. And so that could be a document, that could be a checklist. I'm not sure, but I think that would be a nice sort of result of all of the discussions we've been having over the past 6 months. And I think would be just a great way to engage everybody in this community and collaborate with the rest of the OpenSSF groups. So we can think about what the right format is. We can start thinking about, especially Prince, you who are right working on entering OpenSSF and cybersecurity in general. We would really appreciate your input here on what you would like to see as someone in that position. In terms of what format could work for you and what types of things you would like to see. I know Ijoma had some really good suggestions there as well. Yeah, so again, that feels like a 2025 focus of this group, but with this working group leads meeting seems very much like timely, I'll say. Yeah, go ahead, Crow.
So I put a little note. One of my tasks is I need to figure out how to better explain what we all do. And so one of my ideas is we're going to do a approximately 5-minute video for every working group, SIG, and project and spec, and have that out on YouTube and joined together as part of our web properties. And then I'll be helping develop reference architectures or kind of working on contributor guides, just as you described. And I think that would be an amazing opportunity for this group to provide that feedback and be involved in that process as we go forward to create these videos so that they are, maximally effective and reaching the broadest possible audience we have and speak to folks again that either are just getting into the community like Prince or people that are outside the community that we want to try to lure in and help them work on all the amazing things going on around here. So I'll be sure to include this group as I kick that off. If you're
Yeah.
interested in helping do videos or helping review documentation, kind of however the group wants to participate, I'd like to get you all included. So we have this group's voice included.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. And so, yeah, I don't know if this checklist, I sort of like the idea of a checklist right now. I don't know if this checklist for newcomer friendliness, whatever you want to call it, becomes part of the TAC, becomes part of our working group, how should I say, documentation. I think the governance pieces can be figured out in the future. But I would like both to participate in these videos promoting the different working groups and have a video format for these contributing guidelines, and also have sort of new and existing TIs be able to just reference a document in some form when they are creating their contributing guidelines. Maybe we even provide the template for it or something. Most contributing guidelines are very operational and very sort of, should I say, almost like mechanical. And they're not newcomer friendly, in my opinion. So, yeah. But yeah, so, yeah, again, feels like a 2025 kind of endeavor. And of course, into the new year, I know we still have a few months left in this year, but we would certainly like to continue the office hours. It's already second week of October, I know. We would really like to continue the office hours, kick off the tip of the month. Some point we had said if that really takes off, it'd be great to have tip of the week. I think for that we would need a lot of work. So I think tip of the month is probably a little more manageable for us. Cool. So that's certainly all I had, but I was not expecting to fill most of the hour, I have to admit. So I appreciate you bringing more agenda items as well, Crow and Paris, for the discussion. Yeah, any thoughts on sort of vague 2025 discussions and what's coming up? Yeah.
I appreciate you giving me the shout out. I'm only trying to remember, as I told Christopher last week, I was sick and I was just getting back in the open source community. And the first thing I decided to join this new outside of my normal thing was to join your group. Not to, I don't know if I'm officially joined yet, but I showed up to the last 2 or 3 meetings, and hopefully I will be more adding value as I get back into the community more so. So I'm just glad that you're taking care of it. And you, and I believe the other young lady's name is Yazine. Am I saying that right?
Jasenia.
Yesenia. I apologize. I'm gonna practice on that.
No
But
worries. Yeah.
it was nice meeting you guys the last few weeks. So
Thank you for coming and being an active participant. It's great. This is exactly the type of thing we love to see, inviting new community members like you and Prince in and seeing you start to get entangled in our awesome little world.
Yeah, I will say this is pretty much true in any working group and project in the OpenSSF. If you start joining regularly, you are an active participant and member of the working group. I don't think it takes much more than that. So, and obviously it's open source, people come and go. That's very understandable that there's always a little bit of flux, but for now, you certainly are an official member. Yeah, so yeah, I think with that, should we yield back 13 minutes of people's time? Um, yes, Prince, you're absolutely an official member. Yeah.
So to speak to that, it's really
Yeah.
membership is interest and attendance based. Uh, Broadly in the foundation, we want to see people show up for multiple meetings over an extended period of time. And we need to, I think, maybe the TAC and I can work on kind of more fully codifying like the contribution ladder so that basically from how I've run groups is after someone shows up consistently for, basically uh, it'd be 4 meetings, which would be 2 months of engagement, then I would consider that person um, a collaborator, which it grants you some more permissions on GitHub. I think it gives you the triage bit. And then if someone is really active and they might lead a sub project or a SIG for a group, that's when you might get bumped up to a contributor. And then eventually, like if you're somebody like Marsala who gets roped in to be a lead, or you're actually running a lot of the groups, like John's helped us run a couple groups, you might actually get like be listed as a maintainer. And that's something we can work out kind of how we want this community's contributor ladder to look. But broadly speaking, just showing up lets you claim to be a member, and both of you and Prince have shown up multiple times, so you absolutely would be included as part of our membership here.
Yeah, we should definitely maybe queue that up for our next discussion is what does membership look like for this working group?
Mhm.
I don't like on the one hand, I definitely agree that we should be showing the membership, and I think that will help us gain momentum as well if we say like, look how many members we have, how many regular contributors and whatnot. On the other hand, I'm like a little concerned that that will put pressure on people to leave, if they ever need to step away. But that's not at all what the membership is like supposed to do. So yeah, it'd be a good discussion to have either way, how we want that to look for this group. Because for example, right, like John, you were like on the panel earlier this year, then you need to step away, and you're back here, and it's great to see. So right, like again, I'm personally like very flexible on what membership means and contributions. So good discussion to have for sure. Okay, now we will yield 10 minutes back. But still, yeah, trying to just be effective and respectful of people's time. So I will be posting on the Slack channel sort of a call for participation in the next office hours, which I believe is about creating your own brand and marketing yourself. It's something that everyone has to do, whether they are newcomers or sort of just longtime members of community. It just comes up sometimes. And so, yeah, please look forward to that. And have a good rest of your week, everyone. Thank you for joining today.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you too. Have a good one. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.